प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a siddha and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Manash Mishra.
Oh, Asato ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhagavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Aham Brahmasmi. So good morning everyone. Nice to see you all. So good morning and good evening and whichever part you are. So good to see you all. So this day, as we begin our satsang for the day, I gave a name to Haribhai. Haribhai changed the name, so I think I should go by what Haribhai said. So I gave the title that there should be no retake, but Haribhai said, when I saw the message, I saw like the path of no return. I said, Jaise Narayan ki ichha. So let's do that. So a very typical path, and especially the people, those who were there last Saturday, Sunday, they have already, I believe, experienced certain thing that they cannot return back from where they started and where they reached on that day, and they will never be back. So coming to this, the path of no return, let's see how it goes. So in order to begin, we will take a very simple and at the same time a very amazing story that many of you might be knowing, and if you don't know, it's good, you will learn something today. So we all see Hanuman, right? So when you see Hanuman, he has a what color? What is the color of Hanuman? Usha ji is showing her shadi, this color kind of thing. Orange sindoor. Okay, Navdeep ji. So why he is red? Why do we put that lal sindoor or the sindoor on Hanuman? Why he is red? They say no, lal deha lal lila se arudhari lal langur bajra deha dan avdal jai jai hai kapisur. Lal deha lal lila se, matlab the color of red, lal lila se, shining like the sun. Arudhari lal langur. Aru means Arudhari lal langur. Bajra deha dan avdal jai jai hai kapisur. But why red? Why sindoor on Hanuman? So how many of you know the reason behind the sindoor on Hanuman? He was not born like that. वो वैसे पैदा नहीं हुए थे. But one fine day something happened. Just like this might be the path of no return. And after that, always Hanuman is seen in that form. Hamesha se. So phone a friend is going on between Santoshi ji and Sashi ji. So what could be the story behind Hanuman being red? And other people don't have any other person sitting by their side, so they are looking towards the sky or towards the roof, just like giving examinations. When you don't know and you don't remember, you do something like this as if something is written out there. Somebody will be there saying, okay, I'm there to help you. And some people are looking at the ground. I don't know, Googling or something like that. So whatever it is, So how many of you know at least why that color? You can raise your hand. So Kamlender ji knows it. Haribhai knows it. That's amazing. Great. So we have more plain papers to write on today. So the color. And then you say red, but he's not put red color also. It is not red. हनुमान का जो सिंदूर होता है वो अलग कलर है, जैसे राजन जी के कंधे के ऊपर है, बिल्कुल वही कलर है. उषा जी का तो थोड़ा कलर डिफरेंट था, बट राजन जी के कंधे पे जो है बिल्कुल वही कलर है. सो डोंट नो. हरि भाई पुट, यू सी. राजन जी एक बार गमछा बताइए. हाँ, यू सी ऑन हिज शोल्डर ही हैज पुट ए क्लॉथ, राइट? हाँ, सो दैट इज द कलर. सही है ना उषा जी? Okay, chalo. So why that kind of color on Hanuman? But you say red, but he wears kind of a orange sindoor on it. Right, so first and foremost thing, why the red color came into play? It's such a beautiful story. It such happened that Hanuman always used to see Ram always moving together along with Sita. So he says it's okay, Prabhu humko, he gives us time to do certain things, but majority of the time he is only with Sita or looking towards Sita or moving along with her or something like that. So Hanuman thought like he's spending too much of time with her. What could be the reason? ऐसा क्या कारण हो सकता है कि राम सीता के साथ घूमते हैं, हम सबसे ज्यादा सीता के साथ रहते हैं, ऐसा क्या है उसमें? So he went to Jambavan and Jambavan said, अब इसको क्या बताऊं किस लिए घूमता है, शादीशुदा भी है नहीं. He said, okay, you cannot teach too much thing to a monkey. So he said, you see her forehead? He said, yes. I see Sita put something there. What is that? I see. You tell me what is that? Oh, that is sindoor. Yes, that's sindoor. Now that's the reason why Ram always moves with Sita. Now rest of the story you must have understood. उन्होंने कहा कि सीता वो सिंदूर लगाती है, that's why Ram always moves with her. Then Hanuman says, if by just one dot Ram is moving with her, let me put all the red on my body. मैं अपने पूरे शरीर को ही लाल बना देता हूं. And that's how it came into existence. Lal deha lal lilase. So on his body, he smeared the entire sindoor on his body so that he gets the maximum attention of Ram. Can you see that? That's why I say this is called as the path of no return. Why the path of no return? It is not that only one day he smeared it. Till date when you do a puja, you smear it with that color. He went into a path which cannot be returned back, और वापसी नहीं हो सकती उस जगह की. उसने अपने आप को वैसा ढाल दिया. He made himself like that. Then the question should arise, why orange kind of color of sindoor, not the red sindoor that everybody puts? What could be the reason? The answer is very simple again there. Because the red sindoor that people put on, that indicates something called as marriage. And Hanuman is not married. But he is a Bal Brahmachari, a yogi, right? And yogis, what kind of color do they wear? Ochre. That's the color, na? जो आप orange कहते हो, वो orange नहीं, वो ochre color है. What is the ochre color indicates? The ochre indicates fire. What is the meaning of fire in that? That when somebody wears that, he says, I am away from all these worldly things anymore. No more worldly desires, no more worldly things can pull me down into that space. तब जाके वो गेरुआ वस्त्र ऑकर कलर पहनते हैं. And Hanuman, just like that, except doing seva of Ram, he doesn't have any other work. So he is smeared in that color, जो आप orange कहते हो, ochre कहते हो. So that's why his color is not put on red, but this ochre color. It indicates both the thing that he has devoted himself completely to Ram, just like a wife devotes herself. He has devoted himself completely to Ram. He said, not only just one bindi, let me be all red. That's how, when we say like there is no path of no return, just like somebody gets married. You can go through so many things in life, but this indicates that you have gone through one transformation that cannot never be returned back. That indicates that. Now, while walking on this path, but we talk a lot about Shiva. Then somebody asked like, okay, it's all right, but we don't put a sindoor, we don't color ourselves in that. I said, but it's not about coloring yourself outside. It's about coloring yourself within. What's your color within? So let's see, we will do that today. We'll check what color is there within. If a rectification is required, we will do the rectification also. Good enough? So that something changes within, not just outside. Because the color that I put outside, if I wipe it off, it will go off. But there is some amazing thing that people have always noticed. Even if I wipe it off, there is already a mark always there on my forehead. I don't need to put anything on my forehead. Why? Because that's kind of a permanent change that has happened on that skin. So now, when we talk about Shiva, then said, why about Shiva? I said, why not? You remember that story that I told of a sage whose things were stolen? जिसके कुछ सामान चोरी हो गए थे. If you don't remember, let me just have a quick review. There was a sage who had a small little hut, nothing much with him. But one fine day he was out and a thief entered and ran away with all his belongings. And when the thief ran away with all his belongings, the people saw and they started shouting like, thief, thief, thief. And when all were running behind it, they saw the sage as well. The sage, they said, your things are stolen. Let's catch the thief. And they were running behind the thief on one direction. The sage was running in the opposite direction. The thief went west. The sage was running east. The people asking, your thief has gone that side. Why are you running this side? He didn't stop. The people said, he has gone mad or what? Some people followed him. He went and sat in the smashan, in the cremation ground. Some people said, your things are stolen. Why are you sitting here? Some people thought he's so depressed that he's going to die. बुद्धि है ना, कुछ भी सोच सकता है. But he said, let him run wherever he wants to. आएगा यही. Let him run wherever he wants to. He will return back to this place. And here what you are doing is, you are directly cutting your way there only. No middle drama in between. No running, no finding, no searching. You said, it's enough is enough. Let's find the ultimate that jana udhar hi hai na. Wherever you go, you have to go back their place. That is the space. And if you master that place, if you become colored of the ultimate, even that transition for all of us would be so amazing. Because that's also a path of no return. So on that, we will tread our path today through a specific meditation. And why not? Just to experience certain thing. Now, I would like to start with the meditation first. Why meditation first? Because that might prepare us for the next talk that I might start off. Are we all ready? Very good. So please dim your lights. And I will also guide you in a particular way of meditation today. If you can have something in front of you as an object, it can be anything. It can be a light, it can be a pen, it can be your phone, it can be some object. Better if you have a God's picture. More better, your picture. And if you don't like your picture, we'll put Haribhai on screen. Everybody likes him. Okay. So I'm going to tell you one specific thing about this meditation. Some people will directly jump into that space that we were last Sunday, exactly just that time. Chalo. So let's see one thing, because majority of the time, Sashiji, people ask me whether whatever I'm seeing is just an imagination or is it something experience that I'm going through. You always question that, right? So we will try to break that pattern today. We will see whether you are imagining or you are seeing it. Because what happens is when you are dreaming, in the dream, everything looks real. But when you wake up, there is a hint that that was a dream. Right? जब आप आते हो तो क्या लगता है? आप जब कुछ देखते हो, you have a hint that, okay, no, I feel like I slept, I dreamt, because when you wake up, you see yourself coming out of the bed. Yes or no? So that means that is the first indication physically that you were sleeping on a bed, and while sleeping you were dreaming, and whatever you saw, आपने जो कुछ भी देखा, it stays for a certain time and slowly fades away. Yes or no? So that indicates that that is dream. But here what you feel as this touch and feel right now, you are sitting. Can you say anybody is dreaming right now? That's a different story. Some people can still do that. Being here, closing their eyes and still dreaming, that is possible. But however, all the people, those who are still awake, when you pinch yourself, you know, like, okay, no, this is not a dream. Have you tried pinching yourself in your sleep? In your dream? Exactly, will feel the same thing. Means while you are dreaming also, you are so in depth in your dream, if you pinch yourself, you will feel the pain. अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो कितने बार पहाड़ से गिरे हो? How many of you have fallen from the uphill? Pair, your legs is like this, just it slipped and you say, oh, I fell. So that means if you pinch yourself in your dream also, you'll feel the pain. So that would be very typical, Navneetji, to even differentiate whether I was dreaming or sleeping, or rather I'm awake right now. So in order to bring that awareness back, especially when people also complain, like when I'm closing my eyes, I don't know whether I'm sleeping or dozing off or just, I feel like I'm taking some jerks. What is that? And when I'm doing my mala, I'm doing one mala. While ending it, I'm doing another mantra. Then suddenly I said, which mantra was this? Happens. By looking at your smiles, I can make it out. It happens. ये हंसी बड़ी सारे राज खोल देती है नहीं? Okay, so but why so many people are laughing? That's the problem here. And some people are too serious to laugh. It's okay. Whatever. So now, one typical thing that I would like to guide you, and you can also help somebody, whoever are starting with this meditative process, even you can help them with. Two simple things that they have to remember: Uttarayan and Dakshinayan. You have heard this with sun, right? सूरज के मूवमेंट से आप उत्तरायण और दक्षिणायन जानते हो. How can that be included into your meditation? That will become an absolute guide for you whether you are doing it right or wrong. Will it be good enough? Not only for yourself, you can even guide people. You can ask a simple questions and you can guide whether they are doing it right or not. और जब हम कोई भी ध्यान करते हैं, जब कोई ध्यान की प्रक्रिया करते हैं, whenever we are doing that, I don't know, in a moment I just close my eyes and I start seeing something. whether it is right or wrong. However, if you go by Vigyan Vairav, right, the Tantra that we started, but I thought people got evolved in that, so we stopped. But if people want, we can restart that back, because we have already done till 9 processes of that, right, Haribhai? So when you people are ready, let me know. We can begin that again after a good hiatus. So we can begin that part. So if you go through that Vigyan Vairav Tantra, there is one particular place where it is mentioned that what you feel as imagination, how do you know it is your imagination? It might such happen that the awareness that you have right now, based on that and your experiences of this touch, feel, see, smell, taste, hear, you think it to be real at a physicality level. What about when you are there, you have transcended the dimension of physicality, and there the fabric is something different. The fabric here is physicality, the fabric there might be consciousness. But how to differentiate that? That's what we are going to do today. Right? So we will do it practically, and we will see how it works and whether you have been doing it right or wrong. अब बड़ी मुश्किल हो गई विद्या जी, बोले पहले बोलना था. We doing meditation, all these things, so many years. Now you are telling whether I'm doing it right or wrong. ये क्या बात हुई? See, it is not about delayed realization. It's about realization. There is nothing called as a delayed realization. जब जागो तब क्या प्रीति जी, जब जागो तब सवेरा. But don't worry, as far as I know, as far as you have shared your experiences, I don't think you are doing it wrong. But just in order to guide you further, I just want to give you these simple techniques. And as I said, you can help others to understand that as well. Okay. So now look at, let's begin with this. Deepika ji, are you there? Okay, some people have gone into dark mode. The complete darkness. Okay, fine, no problem. Why I'm asking that is, what the object that you are keeping in front of you, at least you should be able to see that. Okay. So Aditi ji, what is your object? If you can just show me once what kind of object you have chosen. All of you, those who are at least on the camera, if we can see that, what is the object? Okay. Your image on Zoom. Banne ho Prabhu. नहीं कुछ object. Okay, I said object. Okay, so remote. ये पता नहीं उषा जी और अदिति जी दोनों एक ही चीज पकड़ के बैठे. सुमा जी, what's your object there? Phone, illuminated. सरोजा जी, कमलेंद्र जी. Okay. Santoshi ji, what is that? Okay, whatever it is, fruit, nut, whatever it is, stone, rock, Ganesha. I'm not able to make it out actually. Okay. Yellow. So, Shant, ab khush? Beyond object. Okay, stone was that. Okay. Satyanarayan Swami photo. Okay, very good. Whatever you have. It can be a photo of a deity. It can be a stone. It can be an object. It can be something, whatever you can see as an object in front of you, right? Okay. So Haribhai, put me on the screen for another moment. Let me give them a briefing of that. Okay. The briefing kuch aisa hoga, dekho. Okay. Tulsi leaf. Very good. So the briefing would be just simply as like this. How to give it take? Okay, just look at that object once. बड़े ध्यान से देखो उसके. Okay, look at that object, whatever object you have chosen for yourself. उसे देखो, right? And if you see, if you are seeing it intensely for certain time, look at it completely. the shape, the size, the color, उसके सारे attributes को देखो. Kushal, don't rotate it because what will happen is the vision will continuously change. So keep it. उसे रख दो कहीं पे. So don't hold it in your hand, just keep it somewhere. So it is easy for you. Because what happens is if it is moving, it is difficult to even create that image. Okay. So now when you are seeing that object, you people always ask the same question, na? Is it really happening or it is just a imagination? यही कहते हो ना आप लोग? So let's understand that in a very simplified way. So the object that is there in front of you right now, जो आपके सामने है अभी जो object जो आपने रखा हुआ है प्रशांत जी, and all the people in this room right now. When you are looking at that object, are you looking at that object or you are thinking about that object? Someone unmute, Haribhai. Either you can unmute or you can put somebody so that I can have a discussion.
Actually,
so that,
both I am seeing and also thinking.
you see, if you are seeing and thinking, there is a problem. Can I look at you and think about Haribhai?
Okay.
If you are here in front of me, I should not be thinking about you. I should be thinking what I am going to talk to you. That thought process you are talking about, Haribhai. It's not about you. I am thinking what I should talk, what should I ask, or what should I say.
Yes.
Just like you holding a rasgulla in your hand. Do you imagine a rasgulla in your hand or the rasgulla is there in your hand right now?
No, it is there.
But
in
you
my hand.
imagine while holding that rasgulla, how would it taste?
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है ना? So that's why I said to take a object in your hand. जब आपके हाथ में वो ऑब्जेक्ट है, अगर आप उसे देख रहे हो और उसके बारे में सोच रहे हो, then you have lost the moment. आप प्रेजेंट में नहीं हो. अदिति जी, आप मेरे सामने बैठे हो और मैं आपको देख के अदिति जी के बारे में सोच रहा हूं. What an amazing thing. I can think about what you said, what you did, or what you will be doing. वो मैं सोच सकता हूं. But if I sit there and I think, okay, how Aditi ji would be, how Haribhai would be, how Prashant ji would be. अरे मेरे सामने है वो. It is just in front of me. And if I'm thinking, am I doing the right thing?
No.
That's called as imagination. The thing, despite being in front of me, I am thinking about it. Imagination हो गया? Right? So when you are looking at somebody, you might be thinking, जैसे मैंने कहा, उनसे क्या बात करना है, उनसे क्या पूछना है, whatever is there. There are other things attached to that thing, not about that thing. जैसे मैंने कहा कि अगर रसगुल्ले को देख रहे हो, तो रसगुल्ले के स्वाद के बारे में सोच सकते हो, रसगुल्ले के बारे में नहीं सोच सकते आप. Or else, the moment you are holding that object and you are still thinking about that, that means this is also not real. Yes or no?
Yes.
The best way, you know how you come into the present moment, the best thing that brings you into the present moment is the pain. आपको जब दर्द होता है ना, आप प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में होते हो. Yes or no? I think sometimes God makes you realize that be in the present moment. Santoshi ji, right? Be here right now. Because when there is a pain, headache जब होता है तो headache ही होता है, बाकी कुछ नहीं होता है. So pain can be an amazing way of being in the present, and that's why you might have seen many sages, they lie down on the nail, walk on the sword, walk through fire and all those things. But that's not the way of doing it, because if you only go through one extreme of it, it will pull the other extreme. That's what they think. However, it is not that way. How can you torture yourself? But that is their way. There is a path for that as well. So we cannot blame anything on that path. They have chosen that path. But for us, we cannot do that, right? So we will do it with not with pain, but with a pleasurable thing. Might be with a simple object, right? Now, when I said when you are holding that object in your hand, you are looking at that object. So are you seeing the object that you have in front of you right now? जो सब चीजों का आपने रखा है. Do one thing, close your eyes. When you close your eyes, now try to see the object with closed eyes. You can still see the same thing. Can you see that object? If somebody is not able to see the object, open your eyes again, look at the object again. उसे बिल्कुल ध्यान से देखते रहो. ध्यान से देखो. Now close your eyes and see the object again. Can you see the same object that was 1 has now become 2? 1, it has a physically presence. Another, you can see it within you. Now open your eyes. How much time it would have taken to create that object? How much time did it took for you to create that within yourself? That indicates that all the raw materials that is required to create that object is already within you. Even double G seconds भी ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. If you say fraction of a second, it would be good. Because we are talking about time space. Now, whatever it might be, आप बाहर देखो, किसी चीज को भी देखो और आंख बंद करके अंदर देखो, immediately बनेगा. Not only this, here you are sitting right now, you might have seen something 10, 20, 15 years ago. You close your eyes, if you think about that thing appears in front of you. How? In just a flash of a moment. कैसे आता है? That means whatever is there out there can also be within you. However, when you are looking at an object, you can touch, feel it. That's why you say it is reality. But when we are seeing the same thing within yourself, you cannot touch and feel it. That's why you say it as an imagination. But how about if the fabric is different? That's what I'm saying. When you, let's say, example of here, Sasiji, you showed a stone to me, right? Gratitude stone. Okay, whatever, it is a gratitude stone, it's good. Right? If you have seen the Secret movie, you know what a gratitude stone is. So if you are holding it, right? If you are holding that and you are looking at that object, it is there. You can feel the toughness of it, right? Now, when you close your eyes, you see the same object, but you don't feel the toughness of it. You know why? Because the eyes that saw it in physicality needs a physical evidence. The eyes that are seeing it within are subtle. It doesn't need a physical existence. Don't worry, I am taking it slow so that it grills down inside you. So आगे जाके किसी को भी ये शक ना हो कि क्या हो रहा था, what was happening, right? Till this, it's everybody is clear. One is physicality that you call as reality, and then when you close your eyes, you see the same object, but it is not, it cannot be felt, but it is there. Can you deny it is not there? If it is not there, how are you seeing it? अगर नहीं है तो आपको कैसे दिखाई दे? Yes, we will transcend that, Santoshi ji, because the first and foremost thing you have to understand that what you are saying is a memory, right? So why I am talking about this so elaborately? Now, when we talk about past and future, what are that? जब मैं पिछले चीजों के बारे में बात कर रहा हूं या तो आगे की बात कर रहा हूं, वो क्या है? That is all memory. What we are doing? What happened? My situation currently, projection into the future. यही है ना? What's your future? They say whatever you do now is your future. That's why, because you are mixing two things here. Your past, your present, and throwing it into the future. And you think your future will be like that. Isn't it? Now, tell me one thing. Is there really anything called as a past? Except in your memory. Except in your stories that you tell. except that you call as your experience of the past. Can any one of you go to your past without using your memory and imagination? Can any one of you go into the future without your memory and imagination? So what is your past and future? Memory and imagination. But can you deny that you don't have a past? No one, right? But you never said that I am imagining my past. आप कभी ये नहीं कहते कि मेरे पास्ट के बारे में मैं इमेजिन कर रही थी, ये मेरा वहम हो सकता है. Anyone? You don't do that. You know why you don't do that? Because you have lived it. Yes, it is not now here, but I have lived it in that moment. यही है ना सच्चाई आपकी. That's why you believe in your past. Even though it is no more existing now, you still remember it so clearly that you say, no, मेरा past तो था. Why? Because I lived it in that moment. How did you live in that moment? Because you were feeling everything that it was going through at that time. आपके साथ जो जो हो रहा था, आपको सारे चीजें याद है. अगर if I take it in this way, let's say you had a pain or you just hurt yourself somewhere, the scar is gone. There is no hint of that scar also. But if you think about the pain, even you don't feel the pain, but you can remember what you went through at that time. It is so ingrained into you, right? उसी तरीके से, as the past doesn't exist, but you can say that even though it doesn't exist, now I have lived it. And so, hence, it is not a imagination. It is something that I have lived. Getting it clear? Now, I will apply the same thing to your experiences, which you think as imagination. All the time when you ask me whether I have imagined this or I was going through it, right? When you have not lived that, it will always be imagination. But if you have lived it, you have experienced certain thing in that space, even though when you come out of that, it is not existing in that time, but just as your past, it is as real as it is. You cannot deny it. Because when what happens to us is when we are into that deep space, we don't even remember what has happened. But when we come out, we question what happened. But you cannot deny that nothing has happened. You say something happened, but I don't know what happened. I don't know where I was. How many of you have experienced this in your meditations? Something happened. Because one reference point, as I said, Kamlender ji, when I am getting up, सुबह जब मैं उठता हूं, the first indication that I was dreaming is the bed itself. Yes, क्योंकि मैं सो के उठा, बेड से उठ रहा हूं, इसका मतलब पक्का सो रहा था और सपना देख रहा था. Similarly, when you are coming out, the first indication that you have is, I don't know what happened, but when I look at my watch, the time has changed. That means I have transcended some time. Makes it clear? समझ में आ रहा है ना? So that is the first indicator. What is the first indicator here? The time, the factor of time that we call as. And then you cannot deny that I was not there. That's how you say, I don't know what happened to me, but I was there because the time has passed. And I don't vanish into time. So I should be there. Right? So now coming to the object again. Look at the object again. Without moving, just unwavering focus. जैसे त्राटक करते हो ना वैसे. Ready to experience magic of your own? Okay. Look at it. और थोड़ी देर देख लो. Then I will create that. You will be amazed like what we are going to do now. Touch that object once again. Feel it, so that you know that it is real. Because what I'm going to do now might take you to some other place. And then you don't come out and say, oh, I was imagining. Okay? Okay, feel it in any way. Feel the cold or toughness or softness or whatever it is. Roughness of it, smoothness of it, the color, the texture, the weight, anything that you want to do. Now, did you realize why I said you should have an object, not my picture? Or else that would have been a great imagination. So, Janesh, object is there? Okay, good. Okay, okay. Look at it. Look at that. Ho gaya? Are you convinced now that object exists? Convinced, na? I'm not doing any magic. It is there right now in your hand. You are feeling everything about it. Yes? Now we will do magic. Again, look at it. Complete focus. Ho gaya? Close your eyes. You all can see the object within you. Clear? Make it more clearer. Becoming more clear? Focus on it. From now on, the meditation begins, okay? So now you don't move, you just sit. If you want to re-look at the object, you can. अगर फिर से देखना है तो देख लो. सब कुछ लोग कहते हैं ना कि मुझे दिखाई नहीं देता, इसलिए आज प्रैक्टिकली दिखाते हैं कि कैसे काम करता है ये. Good. So now don't move your body, just sit as you are sitting. जैसे बैठे हो वैसे ही बैठे रहो. And whatever I'm saying, I'll just guide you through that. Continuously look at that object and make it as real as possible within you. Keep on creating that object as a solidified thing. मानो आपने उसे जैसे बाहर देखा है, जैसे महसूस किया है, अंदर भी वैसे ही बन रहा है. It is creating exactly in the same pattern. Now, create an image of your own self in front of it. अपनी छवि बनाओ वहां पे. Might be difficult, might be easy, but you know what? Even though your image is not seen, you can actually feel your image standing in front of it now. The same object. Object वही का वही है. And for some people, you know what will happen when I'm saying it? It will feel like somebody is standing in front of you, in front of the object. मतलब मानो वो ऑब्जेक्ट और आपके बीच में कोई बीच में खड़ा हो गया है. उसको साइड करो. Move it. It is you only. You know what is creating this barrier between you and that object? It's your mind. But through that only you can experience it. So whatever shadow or whatever image you saw, let us use that to reach out to the object. उसे उस ऑब्जेक्ट के पास जाने दो. And now feel the object within you through that subtle body. वही करो, उसका टेक्सचर चेक करो, उसका वेट चेक करो, फील इट. It is rough, tough, smooth, whatever it is. No, not through your hands, not the physical hands, but through that subtle body. For some of you, you might have created the entire room now. And in that room, the object is there and you are actually standing in front of that object. And now you are touching the object, feeling the object again. And when you are lifting it, when you're holding that object, see what happens, what changes within you. Can you see, the more and more we are staying here, you are creating it more and more realistic. Okay, keep the object down. उसे रख दे. We are not in the physical realm, in your imaginary world. Okay, now open your eyes. Now, how many of you really saw yourself in your imagination? You went to that object and you hold that object in your hands. Now tell me, what, were you not there? Can you say you are not there? Were you there or not? Did you lifted that object? आपने वो ऑब्जेक्ट को उठाया, देखा, महसूस किया. Not from this physical realm. नहीं. In that body, through that subtle body, you went to the subtle object. Did you experience that subtle thing or not? Yes. Can you see how your mind is working here? So specifically, it has the power to recreate you also. Can you see the power of it? How much time did we took to do all this? समय लगा, या मानो ऐसे था कि it was already there, I just have to press a button. Right? Now, when you are trying to experience an object at a physical level, you need the physical body. Understood? इसको समझाने की जरूरत नहीं. All of us experience that. In order to experience at a subtle level, what did you use? You might say, I used my imagination, right? But there was a moment where you are not imagining, you became that. Were you imagining while taking that object को जो अब आप subtle level पे छू रहे थे, were you imagining or you actually were lifting that up? जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि मेरे सामने अगर रसगुल्ला है, I have the rasgulla in my hand, I'm not thinking about the rasgulla, I'm holding that rasgulla in my hand. When you were starting this process, you imagined, but suddenly there was a shift. Did you realize that? It's a subtle change. That's why I say the path of no return. अगर ये समझ में आ गया, if you get this concept, you might just move to a space of divinity which doesn't need a return. Shall I continue? या ज्यादा हो गया, सर के ऊपर से गया? Are you experiencing something that you call, but now what you are doing, you are remembering about that. Now you are imagining. अब imagination कर रहे हो. But in that moment when I said create your own body, You created. That was imagination. But when I said, go and lift it, go and feel it, what were you doing? Did you thought like you were imagining anymore? That's your power, which you never explored. ये कहते हैं ना, शिव के 5 शक्तियां हैं, the major 5. One among them is इच्छा शक्ति, willingness. Can you see, in your willingness you can create everything. Now, where did this all thing happen? ये कहां पे हुआ बताओ? And don't worry, we are not done with the complete meditation. We will do it. So hold on. But the concept should be clear to you all. सुधा जी, अब तक समझ में आ रहा है? Right, good. Okay, so Narendra ji, when you say it is happening in the mind, can I say instead of mind, it is happening in space? Is there a possibility? हो सकता है? Because what I say is, in order to create anything, the first and foremost thing that is required is space. Because when there is no space, you cannot create anything. Agreed? समझ में आ रहा है? अगर जगह ही नहीं है, मैं क्या उसमें कुछ बना सकता हूं? नहीं बना सकता. Okay. So let us dive deep again into that. Here, when I closed my eyes, I'm talking about you here. When I close my eyes, I see the object. I created the object not only in my mind, but in the space of my mind. Can I say that? मेरे मन के जो खाली स्थान है, उसमें मैंने उसको बना दिया. How? Can you tell how you made it? Any one of you? You cannot tell. Then when people question, how did God created the world? From where did you got the inputs? From where did you got the ingredients? You say, I had a reference point. Yes? आप क्या बोलोगे? मेरे पास एक reference point है जिसके वजह से मैंने ये बना दिया. That's what you say, right? Can you create anything without a reference point? नहीं बना सकते ना? Very good. Then when you cannot create anything without a reference point, when you experience something as divinity in your meditation, how can it be your imagination? Because you said without a reference point, you cannot. So what is the reference point that you are using to create that experience of divinity in your meditation? That means, I'm not saying, I'm not completed yet. I am giving you a hint that there is a reference point. Absolutely, Dhavalji. They have not had enough space, but I will prove that everybody has a space. So I'm going step by step. बड़ा टेढ़ा रास्ता है. So प्रशांत जी, थोड़ा धीरे धीरे ही जा रहा हूं मैं. But every single thing should be so clear to you. And if somebody is not able to understand that, recording फिर से देख लेना, समझ में आ जाएगा. Because this concept is so critical that that's why I said, no, इसके बाद वापस नहीं आओगे फिर. So now coming back to, that means there is a reference point. Just like in order to see the object, you first saw the object. Now, when I'm saying that when you are having a divine experience, when you feel like you saw something, what's your reference point? One, you might see an image of that. उसकी कोई छवि देखी होगी, उसकी कोई मूर्ति देखी होगी, right? So these things are the reference point of a, okay, I saw this particular kind of image in my meditation. Now the question comes, ये सच्चाई था क्या? Was it real or was it my imagination? यही क्वेश्चन है ना. सुधा जी का तो सबसे बढ़िया. देखो अभी खुश हो जा रहे, बोले आज तो आंसर मिलेगा. Not only she, many people are laughing. They say, okay, चलो मुक्ति करा ही देते आज. Now go back to again the same formula of the object that you saw. You close your eyes, you imagined, and then you became that and you experienced it. So here, who became the object? जो ऑब्जेक्ट को आपने बाहर देखा, आपके अंदर वो ऑब्जेक्ट किसने बना? Who became that object? You are not sleeping, right? कोई सो नहीं रहा ना, सपना तो नहीं देख रहे हो ना? हाँ, we can say we are imagining certain things, but we are not sleeping, we are not dreaming. It is very clear to everyone. जिसको नहीं है, काम करो, चिमटी कट लो, so that you will realize you are not sleeping. नहीं तो लगेगा कि okay, I don't know, when I listen to your voice, I go to sleep. सो गए तो फिर समझ में नहीं आएगा. So Nilima ji, till now it is clear, you are awake. Okay, good. So the reference point what I was giving is when you close your eyes, you became that because you had a reference point. When we are talking about the experiences of the divinity, you experience certain thing. First and foremost thing, you are imagining. You can say that, right? सुधा जी, क्योंकि मैंने वो छवि देखी थी, तो जब मैं आंख बंद करके बैठता हूं, when I'm closing my eyes, I can see the same image again. But the question here is, who became that image? The God that you are seeing, who became that God? It's you. Now, it is you as a human, it is you as an object, it is you even as a divine. Right? The first and foremost thing is, I saw the divinity as an image because I saw the image. Now tell me, what's the reference point because of which you became that divine? Uska reference point kya hai? How did you become that divine? Because why I'm asking this question is, you have seen an object, you have seen a picture, you have seen an image of something, but you have never seen yourself as that deity. I'm taking here the example of a deity because it would be easy to understand for every one of us. कि मैंने अगर शिव की छवि देखी, let's say that, मैं मेडिटेशन कर रही थी और मुझे शिव का छवि दिखा. अच्छा ठीक है, शिव का छवि तो दिखा, लेकिन शिव का छवि बना कौन? मैं ही बना. अच्छा, उसका रेफरेंस पॉइंट क्या है? आप क्यों बने? Can you see, whatever you are creating, you are the reference point. Now why you are the reference point here? Because आप ही सब कुछ बन जाते हो. अच्छा, आप ही सब कुछ क्यों बन जाते हो? It should be the question then, right? So Sasi ji, might be a very complicated topic, but hold on, that's how it unfolds. So when I am seeing everything, everything is actually me becoming that. Yeah, everything is within you. That's what, when I said I'm not, you only deny. That's why I'm doing all these exercises, so that you realize that actually it is you doing, not me. सब कुछ आप ही कर रहे हो. भगवान जिसे कहते हो वो भी आप ही हो. वही प्रूव करने के लिए इतना सारा ड्रामा है. होल्ड ऑन, आज तो भगवान बना के रहेंगे या तो भगवान को मना के रहेंगे, जो भी. So here I don't have a reference point that I can become that, but I become that. कैसे बनते हो? I understand to see the image, I have a reference point, but to become that image, what is your reference point? प्रशांत जी देखा, यहाँ पे कोई रेफरेंस पॉइंट नहीं है. You just become that. आप बस बन ही जाते हो. Yes or no? Everybody experiencing the same thing, or anybody is different from that? सारे लोगों का एक ही तरीके का है experience. Okay, so now shall we decode that? Very good. So let me tell you your reference point. आपका reference point क्या है जो सब कुछ बन जाता है? It is you through whose power your mind becomes a jail. It is you whose power the mind becomes heaven as well. Yes? So now let's see what is my reference point, what is your reference point. And then we will prove, जैसे जनेश जी कहते हैं ना मैथ्स में, hence proved, we will do that. step by step formula. So now look at this case. All the things in order to exist need the first and foremost thing called as a space, right? Can space be moved? Think on this. सोचो एक बार. मैं जो जो पूछने जा रहा हूं उसके बारे में बड़े ध्यान से सोचो. पूरा लॉजिक लगा दो. Then we will transcend beyond logic. क्योंकि देखोगे थोड़ी देर के बाद लॉजिक काम नहीं करेगा. ओके, तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग क्या मैंने पूछा? Whatever you create, you need a space. Space का होना जरूरी है. Right? Now, space cannot be moved. Agreed? Everyone? Very good. Can we squeeze space? क्या space को छोटा किया जा सकता है? No. Let's say Navneet ji is sitting out there in his home, rocking on his chair. The house that he has built out there. When you look at your houses, can you tell because we build the houses, the space has become small? Or the space has allowed it to happen? क्या है? It has allowed it to happen because today the house is there. But let's say tomorrow the house is not there. Can you say I have to bring some space to fill that up again? That means space is already always existing. And why I'm telling this is because our mind always needs a be cause. It always needs a cause. For example, you go out, you see the streets are wet. Now the mind questions, why is it so? Then you say, because somebody might have poured water, because it rained. Yes. But here I'm going to talk something where your mind doesn't have a reference of. So we are taking the quality of space. The next thing, is space limited? You can't even say that. It's not in your memory. It's in your experience, but it is not in your memory because space is something that can be experienced but cannot be told. आप यही कह सकते हो मेरे घर में आज इतना जगह है, कल इतना था. My house was empty, I had more space. Now the wardrobe is filled with clothes. No space. Is it really? Throw away that cloth. The space is already always existing. The only thing is I can fill it up with something. Let's say Kamlender ji बहुत अच्छा एक reference point दिया मुझे. He drank water. Okay, उन्होंने पानी पिया. Kamlender ji, show that bottle again on the screen. Kushal, you want to say something? No. Okay. So let's say, okay, so I will do that so it is easy for everyone. Now I am holding a bottle. In this bottle there is water. पानी है इसमें? अच्छा वो भी बता देता, बोलोगे नहीं है, नहीं है. नहीं, it is there, water is there. Okay. So when I'm holding this bottle and I'm moving this bottle, is the water moving along with it or not? See, this will give you an understanding how a physical world and a subtle world works. यहाँ पे आपको बहुत clarity आएगा. With this simple example, when I am holding this bottle has water in it and I am moving it, the water is moving along with the bottle. Yes? Can anybody deny? किसी को कोई शक, कोई लॉजिकली माइंड कहता है कि नहीं, संध्या जी कहेंगे नहीं 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 नहीं, बॉटल मूव हो रहा है, पानी वही, तो फिर बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा, टेबल गीला हो जाएगा, पानी अगर वही रह गया तो. Entire thing will be wet. Yes or no? So that means when I am moving this bottle, along with that the water is also moving. किसी को डाउट है तो अपने हाथ में बॉटल लेके देख लो. और अगर आपने हिलाया, like I moved it, I said like, okay, Usha ji, bring me a glass of water. Usha ji said, okay, take the glass, water is there. No, the water moves along with the. Here you see in physicality, this is a simultaneous movement. ये इसके साथ जा रहा है. Yes. But can you tell me if the space is moving with the bottle or the bottle is moving in the space? What? क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? पानी इसके अंदर है, पानी इसके साथ मूव हो रहा है, बट इज द स्पेस मूविंग अलोंग विथ इट और इट इज जस्ट मूविंग इन द स्पेस? Bottle is moving in the space. You cannot deny that, right? Navneet ji, logically also you cannot deny it. That means there is something called as a physical world that moves. There is something in which the physical world is moving. Hence proven. Are you understanding that? There is one space called as physicality, which is moving. And there is something called as space that we don't understand. We just give a name to it. But it is already always existing. It cannot be moved. It cannot be shrunken. It cannot be felt. But we do everything in the space. समझ में आ रहा है? Now your mind got a big cause or a big cause, whatever it is. So the space is never moving. The space is already always existing. And now when I say I am moving, am I moving with the space or I am moving in space? वो स्पेस मेरे साथ नहीं जा रहा है, मैं स्पेस में जा रहा हूं. So space is already always existing. Now, let's say, can we change the form of the space? क्या मैं स्पेस का आकार बदल सकता हूं? नहीं बदल सकता. But the space can exist in the tiniest of the boxes and in the cosmos as well. Yes or no? दोनों qualities हैं उसमें? Very good. Can I change the temperature of it? क्या मैं उसका टेम्परेचर बदल सकता हूं? Not possible. You see, we are made out of 5 elements that we speak of. क्या क्या है? हाँ, मंत्र पढ़ो, मंत्र पढ़ो. So 5 elements. Okay. What are the 5 elements? Space को लास्ट में रखते हैं. ठीक है? What do you call as air, water, fire, earth, space. Right? Now, see the first 4 things. Space को side करो. Water, air, fire, earth. You can actually feel all these things. And it becomes more and more stronger with the passage. For example, air, you cannot see, but you can feel. Fire, you can see and feel. Water, you can drink and feel. Earth, you can walk and feel. But space? Let me give you another example. Oh, pura, it will score it. Home run. Let's say there is a cremation ground. Why cremation ground? Because all the elements come into play there. Okay. Or if you don't want to go to the cremation ground, let's take the example of a yagnam at your home. आप होमम कर रहे हो आपके घर में. You are using all the 5 elements. There is fire, there is air, there is earth, there is water, and foremost thing, space. घर में अगर जगह नहीं है तो यज्ञ कैसे करोगे? I remember one amazing incident, Deepika ji, in my childhood. It was Diwali time. I thought I had enough space to burn a cracker in the bedroom. And I did. वो आता है ना पॉट अनार का, फ्लावर पॉट्स, उसी को लगा दिया घर के अंदर. And now when it is burning, I'm thinking, अब क्या? It is, and for the first time, I felt like the flower pot has ever burned for so long. Because I put the fire and now I'm sitting on the bed thinking, क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? And thank God nothing happened. God is always there, right? भगवान को सब पता है. So that's what I'm saying. You need a space foremost thing, right? But here you see all the four objects, four elements that we are talking about. Water can be changed. Air can get heated up. Fire can burn down the things. Earth can be digged. ये चारों को बदला जा सकता है. You can change all these four things. आप बोलोगे एयर, मैं बोला एयर कंडीशनर देख लो. You put on a AC, the hot air outside, cool air within. You're changing it. Fire, you have a knob. You can increase, decrease. Yes or no? पानी ग्लास फुल था, मैंने पी लिया, आधा हो गया. Getting that? So all these four things can be changed, but the fifth element cannot be changed. If I am burning something, you might say the space got heated up. No, it is not the space that got heated up. It is the air that got heated up. Yes or no? आप कह सकते हो कि गर्म हो गया. क्या गर्म हुआ? हवा गर्म हुआ, स्पेस नहीं. Is it clear till this time? Very good. So what are the qualities of space now? Please tell. Qualities of the space, please. Anyone wants to unmute themselves and speak to me? Or you want to type? Whatever you choose. Can be changed, can be moved, cannot be squeezed, temperature cannot be changed. Okay, so Santoshi ji had a question put forth there. Okay, I'll see that. So now, all that you are saying is you cannot do anything about space. But without space, you cannot do anything as well. Statement सही है गलत है? You cannot do anything about space and you cannot do anything without space. So about and without, both. जो है भी, नहीं भी. You need it, but you don't know it. Is it all pervading space? हर जगह पे है? या आप कहोगे नहीं, मैं यहां बैठ गया हूं इसलिए यहां स्पेस नहीं है. You cannot say that, right? The space is still there. Despite I sitting, the space has allowed me to sit here. Is it real what I'm saying? Okay. So it is all pervading, all present, everywhere. Inside, outside. Agreed? Okay. So if I'm talking about that space, it is all pervading. Now tell me, what is the definition of God? Hello. What is the definition of God? Same, huh? देखा संतोषी जी, एक वर्ड में आप सब. अच्छा, शशि जी, okay, good. So it is the same, right? That means it is omnipresent, omniscient. It can take any shape, any form. It cannot be changed at the same time. It is free will. It allows everything to happen. Without it, nothing exists. यही है definition? Very good. If that is the definition of God, how many elements are you made of? Again, tell me all the 5 elements. हाँ, जो लास्ट वाला है ना नवनीत जी, लास्ट वाला SPACE. What is that? What's the definition of it? What's the definition of God? What's your reference point? अब बत्ती जल रही है, किसी किसी के मशाल जल रहे हैं. क्या हुआ? Can you see why you became that deity? Because you already are. हेलो, क्यों दिव्यता का एहसास होता है? Why do you feel the experience of the divinity? What is your reference point? मैंने कहा था you are the reference point. Hence proven you are also made out of that quality. Hence you are the reference point of everything. And if you are the reference point of everything, my favorite question, then who are you? Now the space creates within you. Now with this reference point, now let's meditate. No more as a human trying to meditate, but being your true self, who you are, taking no other reference point today but you. Now, can you deny that what you are going to experience will be imagination? Or it is you who is going to experience yourself, because your first and foremost quality is space. And then you use all your powers, all the powers of Shiva. You create. Where? In the subtle realm. Now you see how different your experience will be when you are going through it. Ready? अब ये मत पूछना कि मेरा रेफरेंस पॉइंट क्या है. Same as you. Is exactly same as you. That's why I say, if your reference point is same, my reference point is same, and if I discard all the other four, what's the difference between you and me? क्या है आप में मुझ में? अलग. And that's why it is said, Lakshmi ji, that everything is one. Because of the permutation combination, it appears different. Apart from that, at the core, at the base, is there any difference between you and me? Is there any difference between you and God? Now the mind kicks in. Oh, no. Till you is okay. But God? Then play. You remember my story, na? Those who read the book, they understand what I'm saying right now. The same question, Prashant ji. हाथ रखो, ऐसा रखो एक बार हाथ. हाँ, एक बात बताओ. Is your hand touching your cheek or your cheek touching your hand? Both ना? दोनों कैसे हो सकता है साथ साथ? People से दोनों साथ साथ नहीं हो सकता. मैं बोला देखो हो रहा है. Your hand is touching the cheek is touching the hand. अच्छा. You are the God experiencing human, or you are the human experiencing God? Both. Then you say, what should I experience? मैं बोला फिर से हाथ रखो. If you feel your cheek is touching your cheek is touching your hand. If you feel your hand is touching your cheek, your hand is touching your cheek. So if you think you are human trying to have a divine experience, You will have that. And if you think you are a divine having a human experience, you will have that. Choice is yours because you are the source. Hence proven. You are what? Suma ji, what are you? Sandhya ji, Dhaval ji, Saroja ji, Preeti ji, Kushal, Shanti Rekha ji, Uma ji, Om Prakash ji, who are you? नहीं, लॉजिकली प्रूव किया कि नहीं हम? देखो, I can prove you that you are God logically also. But then the mind comes and it says, but what all things are happening in my life? How can I be God? That's why I said the 4 elements can be changed. The first primordial element doesn't need a change. It cannot be changed. So if you keep on operating from 4 objects that can be changed, your life will continue to change like this. अगर आग बन गए तो गुस्सा आएगा, पानी आ गया तो रोओगे, हवा आ गई तो हवाई हवाई बातें ऐसे करोगे, लोगों को उड़ा दोगे, और अगर पृथ्वी हो गई तो इतना घमंड आ जाएगा कि लोगों को भागना पड़ेगा. So which space you should be? Space is the space. Very funny, na? But that's how it is. The best space to be is in space. Which space? Your own space. What is the reference point? You. I said, without space, nothing can exist, but space can exist without anything. The same applies to you, because you are also the same reference. Without you, nothing exists, but you can exist without anything. Only because you have forgotten your reference point as space, you have changed your reference point as body and mind. That's where you have the problem. इसीलिए मैं कहता हूं the path of no return. क्योंकि अगर उस तत्व को छू लिए, बाकी ये चारों के चारों ढेर, they will be of no use. All the things will continue. I don't say like leave your body, go. No. I'm saying despite being in all these things, always be in that space of your own reference point. Who are you? And then you will be graceful enough to allow all the things to happen in your life rather than being a victim of it. सोचो, स्पेस सोच रहा होगा पहले मैं कितना बड़ा था, लोग अब बड़े बड़े घर बना लिए, मैं छोटा हो गया हूं. क्या कभी सोचेगा वो? Will it ever think like, oh, I was so huge, now I'm becoming shrinking? No. Similarly, if your reference point is space, whatever is happening in your life, you gracefully allow all those things to happen. Not just being a victim anymore of it. आप बोलोगे बोलना आसान है, रहना भी आसान है. But you choose the tough path always. I speak of no path, you choose of the toughest path. किसका चॉइस है? अब हाथ भी नहीं उठ रहे, धीरे से यहां तक आ रहा है, फिर ऐसे नीचे चला जा रहा है. And we did a very amazing thing, Navneet ji, during our last retreat. All the people, those who were, they will understand. ये स्टिकर आपके ऊपर अच्छा लगता है, नहीं सुधा जी? ये स्टिकर आपके ऊपर अच्छा लगता है, मेरे ऊपर नहीं. That means when you say that, you look and say, okay, God, all good, but looks good on you. Aham Brahmasmi, good to say, but it looks good on you. The sticker is yours. The sticker looks good on you. Why can't we both have the stickers? जो कुछ भी है नवनीत जी, अच्छा बुरा भला जो भी है, हम क्या करते हैं, वो स्टिकर अपने से निकाल के दूसरे के ऊपर लगा देते और कहते दिस लुक्स गुड ऑन यू. मतलब कुछ गलती हुआ, तू किया है ये ले, पुट इट देयर, दिस लुक्स गुड ऑन यू. रिमेंबर दिस वन सिंपल थिंग. एवरी टाइम वी डू दैट, स्पेशली जो हमें पसंद नहीं है. जो पसंद है, इट्स ऑल गुड, इट लुक्स गुड ऑन यू. जो पसंद नहीं है, दिस इज लुक्स गुड ऑन यू, और किसी के ऊपर चिपका देते हो. यस और नो? अब डेंजर है, जो हस्बैंड वाइफ बैठे हैं वो एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं, अब सोच रहे हैं देखा कितने स्टिकर चिपकाया है. और बेचारी प्रीति जी को देखो, ऐसा लग रहा है पूरा स्टिकर से भरे हुए. क्या नवनीत जी, कुछ बोल भी नहीं पा रहे, लगता है एक यहां पे भी लगा दिया. सॉरी, जोकिंग. So now you know your reference point. Your reference point is what? Space. Space defines whom, the name that you call as God. You are also made out of the same thing. Hence proven you are that, even if you don't say that. Then now, let's experience our own self. Now you have a differentiation between a subtle world and a physical world. Clear hai ye? So all that experiences you go through life, through the senses, is happening in the physical world. But in order to experience all these subtle things that happen, you need your consciousness. Consciousness can also be put as if I am focusing on that. Right? Although they are two different things, but the easiest way to make you understand is wherever I am focusing, there my consciousness is. We can say that. Now, let us, for the, I don't know, first time also, not focus on the physicality, but consciously experience our own selves. And when consciously you will experience your own self, what will you experience? What will you experience? Koi naam? Space. And space is equivalent to? So when you want to experience God, whom are you going to experience? When you are trying to have an experience of God, what are you exactly trying? Experience your own self. तो किसको मिलोगे? Who will you find? That's why I said the point from where you started the search is the point where it ends. अंत ही आरंभ है. समझ में आ रहा है अंत ही आरंभ क्यों है? Because you started searching from yourself, ultimately you will rotate and come back to the same point. मैं ही हूं. So what are you searching exactly? God or yourself? और कहां ढूंढ रहे हो? और कहां ढूंढना चाहिए? Where are you searching and where you should search? So before meditation, एक छोटा सा प्रसंग याद आता है. It's a small little event that came. Can I share it? शिव जी के सर के ऊपर क्या है जटा में? गंगा. Okay. So for Deepika ji, it will be a repetition, but it's okay. What does that depict? क्या सीखने को है उसमें? एक बढ़िया सा चीज बता देना चाहता हूं. I just want you to illuminate you on that part. And then we will come back to our own reference points again. छोटा सा meditation करेंगे. 10 मिनट 5 मिनट भी काफी है. Because what I say is that meditation doesn't require time because it is beyond time. There is no time limitation. And there, you even transcend space. Are you ready to experience it? So I think I will tell you the story later before I go. Remind me about Shiva, okay? And Ganga. First of all, let us experience that. Then I will tell you why I was able to do this today. इतना critical thing है ये, उसको logically समझाने के लिए कितना बार बोलना पड़ा मुझे. But now, can you see how clear it is? Is your mind questioning? देखो, it's not even questioning that. वो उसने ना हाथ उठा दिया है. It has raised it. बोला हाँ ठीक है, जो बोल रहे सही है. So now in that space, when your mind is calm, not questioning, not disturbing, I think that is the space where you can meditate. So shall we? Okay. Please close your eyes. If you want to dim the lights now, you can dim the lights. भगवान आपको बनाने के लिए कितना कुछ करना पड़ता है. तो भगवान को भगवान बनाने के लिए भगवान को समझाना पड़ता है. बढ़िया वर्ड है. ना कंफ्यूजन. अब नवनीत जी समझ में आया ना. हरि से मिलने हरि चले, हरि बैठे हरि पास, हरि जो मिले हरि से हरि भयो उदास. So your soul went to search for the soul. It saw the soul. And then when the soul jumped into the soul was unhappy. क्यों? खेल खत्म. Path of no return. Close your eyes. Just sit and enjoy the silence within you first. आपके अंदर जो शांत है ना, उसे महसूस करो. Experience it first. Can you see? It feels like you have gone through a weight reduction program and your body has become lighter. No, your body has not become lighter. It is the weight of your thoughts that has diminished. Keep your eyes closed and raise your hand if you feel your body is lighter now. Very good. Amazing. Thank you. Keep it down. Now do one thing. Enjoy the breath that is coming and going. Don't change anything. Just enjoy the breath. We have to bring your consciousness to some point. So reference point, let us become as the breath. सांसों के ऊपर ध्यान. Now, when you're enjoying the breath, you have one reference point here at the physical level. That is the breath that is coming inside you. You can feel that breath. So it has a physical reference. क्योंकि मैं सांस ले रहा हूं, ये मुझे पता चल रहा है. The breath is coming in. I can feel it in the inside. It is entering into my nose slowly through the windpipe. I don't know what is happening in between, but the chest is expanding, the belly is expanding. And take full breaths, easy full breaths. So I have this reference point as a physical level that I am breathing. But there is simultaneously another realm that is existing. You remember the bottle is moving in space. The water is moving within the bottle, but the bottle and the water are moving in space. So now the physical reference that you have is your body experiencing the breath. Now just expand your consciousness away from your body. Just a small little thing. Away from your body, focusing on the reference point from where the breath is coming in. जो सांस मेरे अंदर जा रही है, मुझे पता चल रहा है. But now consciously, I want to check from where this air is coming from. Here, the mind doesn't have any reference point. And we don't need a reference point. Now, just when you are looking at the reference point of the air, you remember your reference point is space. From where the air is coming is also space. Now expand yourself to everything and beyond. So now when you have just expanded your consciousness to everything, and as we know the space pervades everything, space हर जगह पे है. That means you are not only in this body, the space that you are also in the plant as a space. So when one body is doing the expiration, जब सांस से एक शरीर बाहर छोड़ रहा है, that is also traveling in a space accepted by a plant. And you are also in this space. You are also that space. And now I will say something. The space cannot be this and that. The space is everywhere. And when I say, जब मैं ये कहता हूं कि space is everywhere, both the expiration, inspiration happening in you, in that space, your body is in that space, the tree's body is in that space, but you are the space. Now become the space, not the body, not the object, not the tree, not the air, not the earth, nothing. Just simple, sheer space. And in this moment, the magic happens. When you are the space, can you feel everything within you? Every speck of creation. And that's how you are expanding further and further. Everything is within you. Now, from that perspective of space, now tell me if you are different from a flower. You are different from a mountain. You are different from a flowing river. You are different from a flying beautiful butterfly. You are different from a speck of a grass. You are different from the sand on the seashore. You are different from the stars. Because as a space, everything is in you. Experience your own space. Experience your own divinity. That itself creates an amazing space of happiness within you. आपके अंदर एक अद्भुत शांति का और आनंद का एहसास. A space of blissfulness. Now, bring that subtle happiness or the bliss that you are going through on the physical realm of the face of the body, of your body. जो आनंद का एहसास आपको अपने सटल लेवल पे हो रहा है, उसी को अपने चेहरे पे लाओ. और अब धीरे से अपनी आंखें खोलो. Now, open your eyes, open your eyes. धीरे धीरे. आना नहीं चाहते मुझे पता है, लेकिन खोलो. हाँ, open your eyes. Now, we started with imagination, right? But now tell me if you are not experiencing the happiness still with open eyes. Are you imagining happiness? Umaji, Shiva Guruji, are you imagining happiness, or even with open eyes, you are experiencing that happiness within you? Hence, again proven mathematically, that although what you thought as a imagination, when you create it, you become that. And when you involve your consciousness, you evolve that experience as reality. And even when the imagination has stopped, you come back to a space called as reality, still that experience continue to be with you. Now tell me if you are sad. Tell me you are still heavy. Tell me if you have a lot of questions in your head. Shiva Guruji, there is a saying, there are two kinds of things. On one side, there is all questions, no answers. There is other side where is all answers, no questions. Which side are you? The second. अब पूछो सवाल. You will laugh at your own self, even if you start to question it. आपको अपने ऊपर हंसी आएगी कि मैं क्या पूछ रहा हूं. And the most amazing part, you know what? Now your mind is thinking what happened. Sumaji, what happened? Your mind doesn't have an answer. You don't fight your mind. You transcend your mind. देखो अब शांत बैठा है ना. So we are on time, and I believe I achieved what I started. Because it is no more words. My experience cannot be your experience. My truth cannot be your truth until you experience it. And what you are experiencing right now is your truth. Where? In you, Sat. You are experiencing the truth. Where? In the Chit. What are you experiencing? Ananda, bliss. So what are you? Sat, Chit, Anand. Satchidanand. What is the definition of Satchidanand? God. Who are you? I love this question always. Because I feel like asking this question takes me home. Very complicated, na? Today's session. Again, if you go and think logically, क्या हुआ, आपको कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आएगा. लेकिन कुछ तो हुआ है. Something happened, but you cannot tell what happened. हाँ, इससे experience कहते हैं. What happened, but you cannot tell. That's experience. What you can tell is a story, but experience cannot be told. That's why it is the pathless path, the space of no return. आज के बाद अगर आप मुझे क्वेश्चन भी करोगे ना, am I really God? Then you will laugh at yourself. Then you know what I will do? I will not tell you any stories. I'll just bring this bottle up. I say, remember this? Water, bottle, and space. काफी हो जाएगा नहीं? So now how can I do that so easily? Because I think the most easiest thing that I can do is prove you God. Proving you human might take effort. Proving you as God is no effort. It might take time to make you realize that. But बनाने का कुछ नहीं है ना, इंसान बनाना पड़ता है. भगवान हो, I have to create a human out of you, but you are God. So telling you are God is not, doesn't take time. But telling you are a human, then I have to say, okay, you take birth, you are given a name, then you go to school, you study hard, you get the grades. That's how they define whether you are a good person or a bad person. What you are going to earn, what you are going to live, how you are going to have a life. Then you get a better wife or a bad husband. Whatever it goes, the story. So human बनाने के लिए इतने सारे बोलने पड़ेंगे आपको. And God बनने के लिए, I will simply say, you are God. Drop all your drama, drop all your stories, all that left is space, and that space is you, and that space itself is God. And when I said to be in that space and then become the space, and there is no difference between you and the plant that is breathing, inhalation is going as a process, as inspiration and expiration. Did you really feel that the breath is actually coming from somewhere else, or it is actually something happening all within you as a circle? Entire existence is within you. एक काम करना, अभी जाने के बाद मिरर के सामने आ करके देखना एक बार. You just open your mouth and look into the mirror. हो सकता है ब्रह्मांड दिख जाए. Might such happen that you see the entire cosmos within you. Then you will realize, okay, the Yashoda and the Krishna is also you actually did that. Now, finally, the story before I go, because it's already time. So, when you see Shiva sitting and Ganga falling on the jata, what does that indicate? The simplest of the thing. You always ask me why we need someone in our life as a guru or a person who can guide us, a friend, a philosopher, whatever you call it. Why is it required? And then people also say, Rajanji, all the information is available on the internet. Yes, of course, it is bombarding with that. How are we bombarding that? Because now we created 2 hours of content. This also becomes a information for people, yes or no? So now when there is a bombardment of things, how are you going to handle it? Now let's take the information of Shiva. When Ganga had to fall, if it falls directly on the ground, what will happen? अगर धरती पे गिरती तो धरती ही नहीं बचता. The earth itself would shatter because of the force that it will fall. Exactly that is happening with information. The information is so huge that if it falls directly into your head will blast. आपका सर फट जाएगा. Then it needs a space where it falls and reduces its intensity. तो शिव क्या कर रहे हैं? Let's say if Ganga is Gyan, wisdom, it is falling, but Shiva is holding it in its jata. लेकिन jata में क्यों? Have you ever questioned that? Why he hold it in his jata, not in his hand? Now, there is another thing to be understood. Jata is also called a matted lock. Matted lock means it can hold certain things. Yes, you make a tea, you need a strainer. Through that strainer you are able to change, only allow the water to go and all the tea leaves to take away. Strainer use karte ho na? Shiva's jata is just like a strainer. Why? Because all that education is available as Gyan is falling, but it is traveling through many things. बहुत सारे चीजों के जरिए आता है. So not only good things, impurities are also gathered in it. Yes or no? So all the education that you have on internet is not only having the real education, it is also having impurities in that also. That's why we say don't go to the university of, go to any university, but not to the university of WhatsApp. Because everyone is a master there. So now what is that doing? It is doing the filtration process as a strainer. What is this jata then? And then what Shiva does? It allows that to slowly flow into the world. That's why it depicts that the first education that is required falls into the jata of Shiva, and then it filters it. And what it does, it slows its intensity and passes it on so that you get benefited out of it, not drained by it. That's why I believe he is called as the Adi Yogi or the Adi Guru. Because the Gyan which comes as Ganga falls into the mats, it purifies it, allows it to slowly come. And when it comes out of that jata, it doesn't fall. Ganga fell, but it did not fall. It rose in its quality because all the impurities were taken away. So the education that is coming through us, what were we doing? We are holding it. We are only passing on what is required for you. Then the knowledge that is coming, the wisdom that is coming is purified. Then what happens? Jo Ganga mein nahata hai, uske paap dhul jate hain. The one who takes a dip into the Ganga, the sins are washed away. That's why when you sit in satsang, you get liberation of your problems of life. Makes sense why I am able to make you understand all those things? I have an invisible jata. मेरे पास भी एक है जो दिखाई नहीं देता. Don't go by this, huh? So thank you everyone. Haribhai finally put his वो movies के end में आता था ना शिवा गुरुजी, towards the end of the movies of the old, and then all lived happily ever after. Haribhai said he didn't wrote that, he just wrote it was a great amazing session today. That means he reminded that it's over.
No, Manashi. Not like that. But really, it was amazing session today, and really, you connect so many points. Really, if you check, बहुत सारे चीज कनेक्ट होते हैं इसमें. ओ इतने सिंपल लैंग्वेज में फिर से हमको समझाना मुश्किल है, लेकिन
वो भाई याद है ना, I created a Instagram post, you remember? I will tell it in English and Hindi both. So first and foremost in Hindi, पार्वती पूछती है शिव से, एक बार पार्वती शिव से पूछती है कि हर कोई मुझे क्यों नहीं समझ पाता, और तब शिवा मुस्कुराते और कहते हैं कि मेरी प्यारी पार्वती, तुम्हें हर कोई समझ जाए, हर कोई महादेव थोड़े ही ना है. What is the saying here? Parvati questions Shiva, why is not everyone able to understand me? Then Shiva laughs and says, my dear Parvati, everyone will understand you. They cannot, because everyone is not Shiva. So what I made you understand, you understood. But making it understand to another, शिवा बनना पड़ेगा. But don't worry, I am not leaving you until I make you that. You can live me right now, because if you understand that this is what it is, that's why I call this the path of no return. If you understood this, you can leave me this day. You can be happy the way you are. You don't need anything. You are good to go. And I am free from you. But it is not to let you go as a human anymore. You can be happy, live happily as a human with these understandings itself. You can. If you remember this, your life will never be the same again. But my path is no path. And that's the path of Shiva. And that's why I said, you remember, wherever you run, I say you run. I am sitting at the cremation ground. Aana yahi hai. You have to come here only. So ultimately, wherever you want to run, you run away. Ultimately, you'll come back to me only. So we are not here to bind. We are not here to tie you up. Because I know, आना तो यही है और हम वहीं बैठे हैं. I don't have any issues. It's all your choice. So thank you for being God and listening about your own self. I don't know how to tell that. शर्म नहीं आती अपने बारे में सुनने के लिए मुझे 2 घंटा बुलवाते हो. You should be good, Chandra Prakash ji. So I believe like you now could experience or just think of you sitting there far off. Through this Zoom meeting, we can do this. What could have happened to the people, those who sat with me? So thank you everyone for your time. And thank you everyone for your listening. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for accepting your own divinity. With this, remember who you are, never to forget again, never to return back to this world that we have created to experience the pain and pleasures, not to return back ever. I welcome you all to the path of no return.